this initiative. Jay.
Aaron and Candace, we're standing in the shade, but you gotta imagine how hot it is out there on that field. And you got a lot of teams that are getting ready for the new school year. Sports is now a year-round activity. It's no longer just start the school year and then you start working out. And to have a defibrillator on the premises, on site, and just as importantly, someone who is trained to use it can save a student's life. The Roosevelt High School JV and varsity boys basketball team in Yonkers.
Half court, make a move. Get the ball, get out of there.
Playing hard Thursday during a summer practice.
Get out of the middle, get out of the middle, get out of the middle.
And high level of exertion, a concern among many watchful parents because of the potentially devastating impact, in the worst cases, on a student athlete's cardiac health.
My daughter played soccer on this field right here, and I've seen, little girls collapse, and thankfully they didn't need a defibrillator. But I think it's much needed, should be mandatory, everywhere.
Good.
Which is why longtime head coach Ken Stevens says he isn't taking any chances.
To have coaches certified and knowing how to use the defibrillator is very important.
Defibrillators, also known as AEDs, can restart the beating of someone's heart during cardiac arrest.
Think about it. Not all sports are happening inside a school, right?
On Thursday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, standing with the family of a 12-year-old girl who collapsed and died while playing in a basketball game, signed a bill called Daisha's Law, which bolsters existing legislation, making it mandatory for camps and youth sports programs with 5 or more participating teams to have at least one defibrillator on site, a cardiac emergency response plan, and at least one person trained to use the defibrillator.
And I'm convinced, as a result of this, there'll be lives saved that we'll never know about, but that's okay. There'll be more families that don't have broken hearts.
And it's very important for us because now you got the summer heat. Any given time, something can happen to one of the kids. You have to have the proper personnel on staff that can kind of use the machine.
And better believe it, it can also get hot inside that gym. There are a lot of larger school districts, like here in Yonkers, that already have defibrillators on site and trained personnel. But you have to imagine there are concerned parents and coaches all across New York State in smaller communities now breathing a collective sigh of relief with this bill signed into law. We're live in Yonkers this afternoon. Jay Dow, Pix 11 News.
Such an important bill indeed. All right, Jay, thank you very much.